life is easier.
Okay, the recording has started. We will begin the meeting now, the Salary Commission meeting. It is 3:08, calling the meeting to order. My name is Emma House, and I am the Human Resources Director.
Mateo Finkel, Executive Services Coordinator.
Dave Golden, Deputy City Administrator.
Lisa McFadden, Salary Commission.
Melissa Montgomery, Salary Commission 2 person.
Laura Pereira, HR Analyst.
Sabrina Combs, Interim City Administrator.
Kim Perrine, Records Management Analyst.
And Mary.
Mary Elizabeth Himes, Salary Advisory.
Okay, and thank you all for being here today. This is to hold the Salary Commission meeting. The agenda has been shared with you. Is there any changes to the agenda?
Jason, you have changes.
Maybe for next time.
Okay. And then the first item is generally to elect our chairperson and vice chairperson to lead the meetings. I'm usually the staff liaison, so I just assist as needed, but it is really the commissioners' meeting. So you get to choose and elect each other, nominate each other to be the chairperson and or the vice chairperson, however you would like to do that.
There's only 3 of us, right?
Yeah. So this
So
one,
there's 4 people
I thought
on
there
the
were-
committee.
there's a total of 4. There is still an open spot, so it would be a total of 5 altogether.
So who's the fourth person?
Tiffany Scribner.
I think she wants to be the chairperson.
Okay,
She leads things all the time.
Yeah, she does.
okay.
She's really good at it.
Plus she's not here, right?
So we're nominating Tiffany Scribner for chair.
Her second.
Second,
She nominated, I second.
okay, perfect. And then vice chair.
Mary's good at that.
So election for Mary to be vice chair. And a second,
I'll second that.
okay. Okay, great. And since Tiffany is not here today, then I will go ahead and pass it over to you, Mary Elizabeth, if that's okay to lead the rest of the meeting and go through the agenda items, or I'm happy to do it for you today if you'd like.
Okay, I can. Okay. So we are called to order and we are approving the agenda
Motion to approve.
and
I
Do we-
move to approve the agenda.
so we've done an election of the chairperson and the vice chair.
Yes.
Okay, and so we have chairperson is who?
Tiffany Scribner,
Okay, Tiffany, and then
and
vice
she's not
chair?
here today. And you have been elected as the vice chair.
That's what happens when you take a phone call.
Mary, vice chair. Okay, I love it. All right, and so review of Oak Harbor Municipal Code, OHMC 2.02, and the Salary Commission.
Yeah, so, in 2023, staff went through and looked at all the code provisions for advisory boards. And we updated them to make them, more consistent, make processes and meetings, more open to the public and transparent. So, during that time, we did the more public facing ones, the Planning Commission, the Arts Commission. There was a number of them. So, since this group is getting back together and getting restarted again, we've gone through the ordinances and bylaws for the Salary Commission, brought it up to date with the uniform policies we adopted for the others, such as like the terms, attendance, vacancies. And so you guys can look through that. To be adopted, we do have to take it to city council. So I'm not sure if there's gonna be second meeting. Did they receive this in advance?
Not, so what I sent out in advance was what was already on the website.
Oh, okay.
And then this packet that they have today is the updated changes. Let me go ahead and send this to you, Mary Elizabeth. Let me hold on.
So the point being, we can give you time to look at it and then provide any comments at the next meeting. And then we can take it forward to city council. There wasn't much change where you kept the memberships obviously the power and duties are by RCW, so that didn't change. The makeup of the board, we kept at 5 members instead of increasing it to 7 like we did some of the other boards. For the RCW, your term, you can only serve 2 terms on here, so a total of 2-year terms, 4 years on the salary commission, that's set by the RCW. And as far as meetings, it's not monthly, it's called, so it's not like you have to set a true annual meeting date, or you don't give a report to council other than your any report orders that you would come up with. That's really all I have on this. Any question? But if they have review.
Okay,
So this is kind of B and C together. One's the ordinance and one's the bylaws.
let's see if I got the email.
So
And you
these, yeah,
You
You
said,
didn't get it, Mary?
I'm still looking, hold on.
Okay.
I don't think I got it yet.
So in order for them to have time to review, they might need to set another meeting to come back and talk about this specifically. Just for clarification.
so this needs to go on a future agenda for council approval?
Yes,
Okay,
Both
but
the-
typically the
this group needs to-
board, this group would review it. If there's no changes, then we would just ask them for a recommendation to approve. So when we put it to city council, we can tell them, yeah. So ordinance for the bylaws. So. Yeah, good.
That just added the minor changes that came out through the other processes.
So it's what it was, basically.
There's a couple of key things that she talked about terms and some of the information about attendance and other stuff that we just made sure we're covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly just making things more organized so that we're all under the same
We're
board.
not here to make your lives harder.
Yeah.
Can I move to accept what's been presented then?
I'll second.
You good with that?
I'm
Mary?
good with that
Take a vote.
because it's, yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, Mary's been through some of the other advisory boards. so-
On Arts Commission, she's seen this. So. Great.
Um,
That's good.
So then the review of bylaws, we push to the next agenda, but approving it for right now. Is that what we're doing?
You don't need it on the next agenda because you
No.
just approved it.
If you just approved it now,
Okay. And then now we're at the review the salary commission report.
Yeah, so that was included with your agenda. Thank you, Mikhail. The salary recommendations for the mayor and council members. It was last set in 2023 and that covered the year of 2024. So I know that there is most likely going to be some direction, action from council, which may need us to do another report in order. But it's good to know the history as to the salary commission, making the determinations for the benefits and salary for our mayor and council members, how we go through that process, what we've looked at in the past. What the current salaries are is included in this current report in order for both the mayor and the council members. And it also talks about the adjustments that have been happening during the past several years. It also talks about how they are in alignment with our non-represented employees and the bargaining units of the city, which are our union contracts. What else can I tell you about it? It has been in alignment with our cost of living adjustments. And that has been how the past couple of years has been determined, is looking at cost of living adjustments and also our comparable cities who have salary commissions with council and mayor form of government. And you can see as of page 4, it talks about what became effective as of January 1st of 2024. So that is the report in order that was last signed. And signed by the city clerk in April 2023. So I just wanted to make sure you had a copy of it. And then we can move into the next agenda item unless there's any questions.
Is, so the basis of why we're here is to decide if we feel that, since we're only talking about the mayor, that the mayor makes enough money.
This commission is to determine the salary and benefits for the mayor and the council members. If it's at the level that it should be, if there needs to be any adjustments for any reasons, whether it's due to a change in the form of our government,
Right.
whether it's due to a change in the economy or comparables, things like that.
I don't think the mayor is paid enough. I think it's a full-time job that is paid for part-time wages.
And that is something, is a good discussion, because to change the mayor's status from part-time to full-time would take council direction.
Oh,
Once
I'm not
council,
sure about that.
right now, that's how it's written
Oh, that's how it's written where?
in the report in order.
Okay, because I talked to our city attorney. And she said currently the mayor is approved by the city council for one FTE, right? So it's approved by the city council for the one FTE. And as far as changing the form of government goes, the council, well, I mean, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself because item 5 is, I've been talking about some of the stuff in item 5.
So maybe we should go ahead and skip to item 5 then.
Okay. That's right in the report.
Well, there's no minutes. It's the meeting last year that we didn't about, right? So
The report in order would be your basis for what was last decided at the last salary commission.
All right. Well, I mean, going to item 5, so the council's been talking about, what's the better face too? The
I'm good.
council's been talking about a bunch of different items as far as their, projects and priorities and what do you call it? Is it visioning or what do we call it?
It's really their priorities. that they're
Yeah,
talking
they're
about.
good priorities, for the upcoming budget and for the city, since we have an administration. And one of the things they were talking about was changing the form of government. And in the item to change the form of government, so, I mean, I just asked the attorney some questions about that, right? And when you mentioned form of government, I just immediately thought of that, instead of, I guess, the report order here. But basically, technically, for the law, changing the form of government is really just going from a strong mayor council that we have now to kind of city manager council form of government. As far as like the mayor working full-time as compared to the previous incumbent who was working part-time. That's according to the attorney. That's really up to the mayor because the council's already done their job in creating the one FTE. They didn't create like a half FTE, they created a one FTE, which did notes full-time. So if the mayor wants to work full-time, and he has actually, I mean, he has been working full-time as far as I've seen. Then it's really incumbent upon this salary commission to decide how to compensate him. And I asked specifically, actually later on, I asked about the report and order. Like, this is what the previous salary commission decided. If the form of government changes or the mayor's position changes from part-time to full-time, the salary commission will reconvene no more than 30 days following the change in government or the change in the mayor's position. So it doesn't actually say that council has to make that decision there. And according to the attorney, it's really like the mayor who decides how many hours they work.
Sure.
So, she also said specifically that the salary commission can revise anything they do, including the previous report and order. And a majority vote can change its mind and position on just about anything that has been decided. But just a closer reading of this doesn't actually say the council has to make that decision, change the mayor. It just says this salary commission shall reconvene no more than 30 days following the change in government, which is something else, or the change in the mayor's position, which would relate to the part-time, full-time.
Right.
So I mean, he has been working full-time as far as I can tell.
Well, I just mean,
within 30
in
days.
general, you basically have, nobody can do this job unless they have money. Sorry, you're retired like Bob. Probably has money as well. Ronnie has a very established business. And I'm not, but my fear was that Ronnie had lost and the other guy had won, it wouldn't have worked. Because he would need to have a second job to do this. And we're never gonna get anybody we're never gonna have a whole pool of people that can say, I want to be mayor and I can be mayor. We're gonna say, oh, I think I can do this while I do my other job, or I can do this because my spouse has a job. You're not gonna have somebody that wants to be a true leader that they're just like, I'm gonna get compensated for it. It's not worth my time. So if you had a position that paid $150,000 a year that someone could do and live on and be in the position that they're in, I think that'd be better. So I'm not talking about how many hours is Ron work. I'm saying that it's paid part-time, so they all have to have a second job to do it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So to get somebody to do this full-time, to make it worth their while. Yeah, I think they need to be compensated as such. Then you would have a lot of people wanting to be paid. I always think good payment, so they really don't.
Yeah, I'm just trying to provide you with the information that I have.
So is there a way to
The
make
purpose
this?
of the person who's the mayor?
Yeah.
And usually when
We're
talking
saying the
about-
same thing.
Like, because we talk about positions, not so much personalities, so basically, if we have a full-time mayor who's working the full-time hours, like what would be a fair compensation, right?
Right.
And what I did, was I'm like an analyst, right? I look at data. And you can tell, like, when I go to these social gatherings, like leadership would be, I still revert back to the data nerd. So, excuse me. So, anyway, so what I did was, we have some comparables that we use as a city. But I just went ahead and looked at the Association of Washington Cities latest salary survey, which was last year. And I just took all the roles of mayor and just listed the ones that were assumed to be full-time, because it doesn't, unfortunately, in the data, it didn't differentiate between full-time and part-time. And I wasn't gonna call 211 cities. However, if we have a smaller number of comparables that I know Emma uses, and she would be able to call those folks, but we don't know how many of those would be full-time, part-time. It might be a really small number. But I was able to pull, I only made 3 copies, so I don't know, I have it here on the computer, but I just went in there and I looked at all the cities that have a mayor, a strong mayor, council form of government. I didn't want to take the ones that had a city manager form of government. And I assumed that if it was paid over 100,000, it was full-time.
Yeah.
Like if somebody was paid 20,000 or 30,000, you just assume it was full-time. But there was no data to really tell me yes or no, unless I was going to call 200 cities or whatever, whoever responded. So what I did on this
I'm fine.
on this sheet is I listed the names of the cities,
I
the
got you. David.
population, the mayor's salary, and then of course the form of government, which is all the same government as ours. And I took the average, and you can see the average on the bottom is like 148,000. So of course you have cities like Seattle on here,
Right.
That's way different than our city. But then you have cities with only 12,000 people. So the average population is probably greater than 25,000, which Oak Harbor is. But there's some outliers on here, obviously.
But look at Ancor's, right?
And of course,
They saw at 135.
that's one, two. Yeah, I'm just saying, you can,
Yep.
I just took an average of the whole
Yep.
population here, but you can obviously take a few out and take another average or maybe just look at the comparables. And it's just, I guess it's open for discussion. Talk about.
We have a meeting per the data is once a year. And if we're going to step into this arena as far as trying to figure out if the mayor is going to be full-time, part-time, this is going to require more than today's discussion. So is everyone up to scheduling for right now, another meeting in a month so that we can all get used to what we are doing, because this is day 1 of this commission. And to be honest, I'm not comfortable saying anything because I don't know anything. And I think that we really need to delve into it. David's given some good data, but we need more time and more discussion. And the point of, the mayor's job is seemingly full-time. but there are some repercussions along the way to changing that or even and having that discussion and budgeting and things like that. So I motion that we table and also schedule another meeting in the coming month.
Okay, I have one question before we second that. If we say, okay, we want the mayor's position to be paid as a full-time position, right? Would that be something we decide at this committee and then it goes, you said it doesn't have to go to council? Or the dollar amount have to go to council?
According to the city attorney, if there's a tie vote, then it has to go to, the mayor can break the tie, but it doesn't take effect until this is the next term. But if there's not a tie vote, then any increase or decrease in salary established by the commission shall become effective and incorporated into the city budget without further action of the city council or the commission.
Okay.
According to Oak Harbor Municipal Code 2.02.
One of the things, if you guys are gonna meet again, we could also ask Hillary to attend that meeting.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, she was.
Yep.
You know, she was getting ready to leave town, so I know she was going on vacation.
Mhm.
Hillary, she's our city attorney, so. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's some more,
If she can review it beforehand, I mean,
there's a lot more depth to this than just saying, yeah, give the mayor more money. And the repercussions of that and all of those things need to be discussed above board. David has some good data, but yes, Hillary should be here to answer our questions directly. And we should be able to also formalize those questions in a way where we're just kind of not off the top of our head and have some more thought about all of those things that we're asking and what that means, what that looks like, and then not for this mayor, but for future mayors with, is that hourly, is that salaried, and then what are the expectations of the mayor when you say that it's full-time, and then how does that happen? And how is that going to, how does that make sure that the constituents know that that mayor is working full-time and not just collecting extra dollar?
it
So
would be for this mayor, it would just be for his next term or his next year.
That's.
I think it's the next year.
Well, if it's a tie vote, but if it's not a tie vote, it becomes effective.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, except for immediately, but it definitely becomes effective. Without further, yeah, it becomes effective and yeah, it just becomes effective and incorporated into the city budget without further action.
And then that's also a discussion for the mayor as well, because although the mayor may be working full-time, the mayor's ability or flexibility is affected as well. And so if the mayor at the current is choosing to give the extra time because he's in the first part of his tenure, but then along the way that changes. So we need some commitment as well from the mayor as well for future. So again, putting this on and then having additional meetings, I feel is going to be important to have a solid answer that is not going to have pushback from several different areas, or when it does have pushback, we have the answers.
Yeah, I requested this meeting not be on Friday.
For sure.
I think.
Would you prefer Thursdays? Not Thursdays either?
Or
Like Wednesday, Tuesday? What day of the week and what time of the week works best for you?
Yeah, do you guys want to schedule it now?
In the past, it was always like a Thursday or Friday afternoon because of people working and getting off work, but
summer, leaving town.
if you want a different day of the week, a different time, let me know.
Tuesday or Wednesdays,
Tuesdays or Wednesdays, morning or afternoon,
afternoons.
okay? Do you like 3:00? So Tuesday or Wednesday at 3:00 would be okay?
Yes.
Okay, I will find out from our city attorney which Tuesday or Wednesday at 3:00 in July would be best for us to reconvene. Is that
Except next month. Third week is good, maybe the
third
third
week of
week,
July?
because I see that some of us may be on other types of,
I'll be gone.
have other meeting commitments throughout the month as well. The first 2 weeks of the month get top heavy.
Okay, so the other commission members are gonna be unavailable the second, third, and fourth week of July.
July 17th through August
We have to wait
15th.
a month.
We can push
No.
it, can we push it to August?
Well, and you don't have to wait a month either to have that meeting.
Right.
That's true, but
What about if we were to try to do July 2nd, 3rd, or 9th or 10th before you go out of town?
so
Would
I
July
will-
2nd, 3rd, 9th, or 10th work?
so the July 2nd,
July 3rd.
Not July
July
3rd,
2nd. July 3rd, 2nd or 3rd will work.
so maybe July 2nd?
Tuesday.
July
2nd,
2nd, anyone?
Tuesday?
It should be good.
Seems like July 2nd might be a good date.
July 2nd is a good day.
Okay, I will make sure our city attorney is available July 2nd at 3 PM. If she's not available,
She may send somebody from her office.
okay, that would work. She could send somebody from her office.
I'll see.
Okay, otherwise I was gonna say, what about July 9th or 10th?
I'll be gone.
Gone, okay, so
Be
yeah.
gone. I'm out. I'm gone as well. So
Okay, so we'll make sure either our city attorney can come on July 2nd or we will get somebody from her office.
yes.
Okay, that sounds good. And until the next meeting, as you're digging through all of this documentation and information, you gave copies, yes. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions. If you need any additional information as you're reviewing it, feel free to reach out to us and we are more than happy to help and support.
And if you have advanced questions for the legal team, we can do that as well. So
Yes.
all of those.
That's
right, we
great.
can work on that.
Well, oh,
Tiffany did apologize. I don't know why, but she didn't get my emails. Otherwise, she would have been here. She was on a boat. Otherwise, she would have called in to connect, but she said that for sure
Mayor, that's on her.
she'll be at the next one. I didn't tell her that yet, so.
We have to vote to excuse it.
Right?
And there is still one more opening on this commission, so spread the word, right? Or do we know? Do we have anybody?
I don't remember. I think Mikhail got an application, but it's still important to spread the word because
Since we
all of our
want-
advisory boards were always, they're open for application all the time. So. try
Yeah,
and
we have
make sure
other
that
boards
happens.
that need people too.
And you can apply for more than one at one time, so.
did we have any public comment on number 4 on the agenda?
No, no public comment.
Sitting back there.
Okay, so right now the determination for future agenda items is going to be continuation of this discussion of the mayor's FTE and
Yes,
salary.
yes, thank you.
FTE means full-time employment, right?
Yeah, full-time employee.
You're like in the Navy, right?
2.4 or what?
Well,
So can I ask a question? I'm just thinking the FTE, if it's full-time, then do they have to have approval to have another job? Does the board have to approve the type of work it is, so it's not a conflict? Because I know that at the bank, if somebody had a second job, we had to approve the job itself.
I mean, if you're a
In
regular.
case there's a
if you're a
conflict.
regular employee, it might be fine.
You don't get the employee.
I don't know.
I know you have.
I don't know.
well, this is,
So it does.
So.
But maybe it doesn't matter. I'm just bringing that up. That doesn't have to be approved.
So it's something for this group to decide and discuss, yeah.
That's part of that's why we need those additional discussions.
Our city attorney will be here next time, right?
Right.
So she'll be able to answer that.
And help.
But from what I understand, I mean, we do have some folks on the current council who might have a conflict during certain hearings and they just recuse themselves, so it's.
And maybe that's not an issue. I just all of a sudden thought about it.
It's all good.
Maybe not categorizing it as FTE, just saying the mayor's as is, the salary is now this, and then in the future, mayors will get people that like say, okay, this will be my full-time job, because I don't have to have some.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And that's a discussion item for this group, yeah.
I think that this will not be something that we answer in 2 meetings as we drill down to the details. Because you can chop up an FTE however you want to. And then that's also going to be in salary comparison as well, depending on how that's used. And so then that comes to discussion of additional employment, outside employment, and then the commitment to that. And then how will council want to step in and also potentially create some type of control over the way the mayor works. So understand that once we do one thing, it will trigger something else. It is not, we are not, as they say, working in a silo. There will be a triggering effect on any decisions or choices that we make. And so, again, having additional meetings is going to be a requirement.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Mary. It's the long-term impact. It's not just a
Yeah.
this term thing. Yeah,
That's what
Yeah.
you said.
yeah. What you decide now has bigger impacts. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have to future think and so it's a big deal for the future of the town. And it's such a good point that, the mayor not being able to give 100% focus if they have a job or if they're not where the pool of running for mayor is actually impacted because of the salary, because not enough people are able to participate in the civic duty because they can't afford to, because of the salary. So that's a great point. And then that also, overall, that eliminates, again, some people from being able to, that want to, and then it also eliminates this imaginary creation of them and us as well. There's a lot of impact and a lot of opportunity that I actually didn't see until this discussion. So looking forward to continuing to create a process that benefits the whole town of Oak Harbor. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? David, are you able to email me that?
Oh, yeah.
I emailed it to you. You should have it.
Okay, great.
Can we adjourn?
Anyone else?
Yeah, you have member comments right now that she's checking to make sure there's no other
No other
comment.
member comments?
And then
If there's no other member comments, then
you guys scheduled your next meeting.
yeah.
So motion to adjourn would be the next step.
I will motion to be adjourned.
I'll second it.
Tuesday, the 2nd.
Tuesday, July 2nd, and I will send out a calendar invite.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
connecting.
everyone.
Right.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon.
You
Happy
too.
Friday.
Good weekend.
Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Emma, for giving me a call.
Thank you so much for joining.